So the column is entitled War Notes. It's free. You just go to BillO'Reilly.com and pops right up and you can read it. Same thing with the message of the day. They're different, but they're free. Column lays out that ever since Donald Trump decided to get into politics, 2016, the press has been on a mission to damage him. I think that's fair to say. I don't know if anybody could successfully debate that statement. But Donald Trump continues to go into places like Meet the Press on NBC that he knows are unfriendly. I asked him about it off camera one time, and he said, look, I want my case out there. That's what I want. If I can convince people, fine, but that's not the most important thing. I want to be heard. Okay, but the downside, the risk is that you're going to get slammed, and many times unfairly. So the president goes into Meet the Press on Sunday and then walks out of Meet the Press in the middle of the interview. No surprise. The moderator is a woman named Kristen Welker. Kristen comes from a exceedingly democratic family. She's given much money to that party, and she is a liberal woman. And what I mean by that is, if there is a story that reflects poorly on conservatives or Republicans or the president, Kristen is going to do the story. If there is a story that reflects poorly on Democrats, Joe Biden, Barack Obama, whoever it may be, there's a good chance Kristen will ignore the story. It's as simple as that. Okay. So right away, Kristen Welker gets into a Trump campaign promise. No new wars. Go.
One of your consistent campaign promises was no new wars, going all the way back to 2015. Did you break that promise to the American people?
No. I had to stop a country, very powerful, very dangerous country, from having a nuclear weapon because they'd use it. They'd blow up the world. They'd blow up the Middle East. They'd blow up Israel. They'd come here. They'd blow up Europe. They're nuts, okay? They're crazy people. I deal with them. And very high-strung people.
Okay. My answer would have been, had I been president and sitting across from Ms. Welker, things change. And our intel information was that Iran was violating the Obama deal. It was very, very close to accomplishing a nuclear weapon. So when I said no new wars, I meant it. But when new circumstances that are threatening come to the fore, F-O-R-E, I got to deal with it as president. That would have been the answer that I would have given. It wouldn't have been enough for Ms. Welker. I understand that. But most people, I think, understand the danger to Iran. They don't like the policy, but they understand the danger. Okay. Now, you can ask that question about no new wars in two ways. Confrontational, as Ms. Welker did. You said, or informational, as I do. There's a new war, Mr. President. What has changed now? Now, he'd give the same answer, but then you could follow up with, was there one intel report that swayed you to get involved with this conflict? Just give me one. That's informational. Not, you did it, you said it, how come you said it? That's confrontational. Happens all the time across the board, all the time. Okay. Now, the second one was just foolish on the part of Kristen Welker. Foolish. Donald Trump believes that the election of 2020 was rigged. Nothing is going to change his mind. Nothing. This has been going on for 6 years. Everyone in the country understands the president believes there was fraud. Everyone who pays attention. Why are you going back to this? Roll the tape.
You play right into their hands with this rep. You know that these elections are rigged. Your network knows that they're rigged. You know that I won an election in a landslide, and I got 94% bad press.
But, Mr. President,
you know why I got that? Because you have no credibility. We're like a third world country. Your elections are crooked, and you're crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked, and so is ABC and CBS and CNN.
But, Mr. President,
you're one-sided crooked networks. All right, let's call it quits because I've had enough. Thank you, darling. Have a good time.
Okay. Would I have walked out? No. However, what's the point? You haven't had any evidence. You haven't. It doesn't matter. That's what the man believes. And you can take it or leave it as the American voter. That's what he believes. Why are you going back on and on and on and on? You could ask, and it'd be a foolish waste of time, is there the same thing you can ask about Iran? Is there one fact that swayed you over to a fraudulent election posture? That's informational. Now, chances are you're not going to get answers to those. I understand. But your presentation as a journalist matters. And now with the California debacle, and we'll get into that, Trump's got even more. You can't count the votes after 6 days. A surge from some left-wing crank in Los Angeles? You mean, I don't have any hard facts to say the California election, gubernatorial and mayoral in LA, were fraudulent. I don't have any facts. It looks bad. And it's looked bad for decades. And they won't fix it. Why won't they fix it? You never get that from Kristen Welker. Ever. Okay. So when we're in a situation where the president is under siege by the media, and he is, all right, he's going to hit back. That's the kind of guy he is. But there are legitimate questions that have to be asked. So, according to a Washington Post poll, 61% of the American people do not support the action in Iran. Now, a simple question that Welker could have asked, and it would have been much more responsible, is why do you think that is, Mr. President? Again, informational. Why? 61% is a big number. Why? That's not rude. That is legitimate for a journalist to do. Okay, so you get a situation where Trump has defeated the media. I mean, 60 Minutes and George Stephanopoulos and the guy at ABC, Terry Moran, and they're just Colbert, one after the other, after the other, after the other. They're dropping. The media hates that. He's winning that. Iran, don't know. Could turn it around. Believes he will turn it around. The president does. But it's dicey. And that's the memo.